Hey guys, I think this is going to be an interesting one because while we paint, I want to tell you a little about a challenge that I'm setting for myself this year that I really hope will help me focus on building my skills as an artist. So while I paint this piece, I want to catch you guys up a little because as you might recall, I've been looking for a little direction this year, and I'm still kind of figuring out what my intentions are for 2022. And as I was cleaning up my art supplies the other day, I noticed something, and this is probably no surprise if you're also an artist, but I have so many things, guys. I mean, pencils, paints, paintbrushes, canvases, paper, but even with all of those things, I'm always thinking about some other thing that I want to try. So why is it that I keep thinking about getting more supplies when I don't know if I will ever be able to use all the things that I already have? And for me, I think it comes down to just two things. One is it's fun. It's so much fun to get new art supplies and just jump in and try them out and play. But the downside to that, guys, is that sometimes doing what's easy is just an excuse to not do the hard work, which is really putting in the effort to build the skills, to bridge that skill gap that's going to get us to a place where we can do the work that we really want to do without having to rely on the quote-unquote right tools. Now, I'm just speaking for myself here, but I know there's definitely times where I've been frustrated and I think, oh, if I just had better brushes or better pigment and paints or better paper or whatever it is. And sometimes there's a case for that, for sure. But most of the time, I think there's something there that I could be doing differently, that I could be doing better, that would really be the key to getting through that frustration. So here's what I've decided. In 2022, I'm going to take any money that I would have spent on supplies and I'm going to put that towards anything I think that will actually help me build my skills. So right off the top of my head, that's going to be things like classes. So anything from online classes, Domestika, Skillshare, anything through, maybe independent artists, that would be wonderful. An in-person workshop would be amazing. I won't get my hopes up for that, but maybe later in the year. That would be amazing. And then think about things like Patreon. I love finding an artist on Instagram and then finding out they have a Patreon. What else? It could be things like books, magazines, movies, podcasts. I mean, it could be anything. I'm talking about anything that I think is going to actually help me build my skills rather than relying on purchasing some new art supply. So, how do I think this is going to translate into my practice? Well, it's yet to be seen, but I think there are at least 3 things that I'm really hoping for. And the first one is I'm really hoping that this will help me cut down on my procrastination. I've already done this somewhat by choosing to make art every day, but even then, sometimes I find myself thinking about something I'd like to try, like, oh, I'd love the effect that this person got when they used this special tool, but if I order it, I'll have to wait for it to arrive, and then it comes 2 weeks later and I'm not even interested in doing that thing anymore. So instead of that, I think I'll try and shift my mindset to, oh, I like what that person's doing. I wonder if there's anything that I already have that can help me get something similar. And I'm going to go see if I have that right now. So that's one thing. The next is just broadening my perspective. So by not relying on new art supplies to add variety to my practice, keep things interesting, I'm going to have to look for other ways to keep my interest. And so I'm hoping what that means is that I'll find the time and the motivation to discover new artists and maybe old artists that I've never heard of, but new styles, new movements, maybe challenges online, all of these things that I might have missed out on because I was just defaulting to looking up supplies. So for instance, looking up oil painters or looking up how to do something specifically with a specific medium. And so the last thing is that it may help me just deepen my understanding of what I already have and specifically what I can and can't do with what I already have. So I know for a fact that there are supplies that I have that I've not even scratched the surface of what they can do. I might not even opened them yet, so let alone understood them at all. So by forcing myself to get the most out of these tools, I'm really hoping that I'll find some nice surprises, both what I can do and what I can't do. And along those same lines, get rid of a lot of the clutter that I have here. So if I can really heads down do some work with these tools, I can, number one, use them up, and number two, decide what's really important for me to continue working in, realizing that I don't have to work in every medium. Yeah, so that's what I'm hoping for, guys, and that's it for me. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, and as always, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about doing with your art practice this year. What classes are you taking? What do you recommend? Is there anything that you can recommend to me? I would love some recommendations. And if there's anything else that you'd like to see from my channel, just let me know here in the comments. So for now, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more. And yeah, I'll see you soon.